Well, good morning. It's 7:44, KNEB, overcast, 40 degrees this morning. It is time for News Extra, and brought to you today by First State Bank. I'm joined by three men here to visit about an upcoming Boy Scouts recognition dinner. Kevin Sandberg, Gary Shoemaker, and Hank Rahmig are here to visit about this program. And let's start, maybe with Kevin on what the event is and when.
Okay, thank you. The Longs Peak Council, the Boy Scouts of America, we're the Tri-Trails District here in Scottsbluff, and we're having our Distinguished Citizen Award Dinner. And this year our honoree is Dr. Don Gentry, who has he practiced in the Valley 36 years. He's got 2 Eagle Scouts as a boy, was in Scouts himself, and very, very active over the years in the district.
Okay, so this dinner is coming up on April 26th. And maybe, Hank, you're the dinner chairperson, I understand. Tell us a little about the dinner.
Well, this is, I think, the 5th year that we've done the Distinguished Citizens Dinner. And the idea is that we recognize the contribution from a distinguished citizen to the community, and it also serves as a fundraiser for Scouting. And it's been a format that's worked very well the past few years. The last year's honoree was former Mayor Don Overman, and prior to that was Dr. Todd Sorensen, Hod Cosman from Platte Building Companies, and John Harm. So we've had great past recipients, and Dr. Don falls right in line with those. So
I was going to say, you got an all-star lineup there.
Yeah, we're looking forward to a good dinner, and the response so far has been excellent. So,
all right. Well, how do we get tickets for the dinner?
We have tickets from the Scout office. Maybe I'll let Gary talk a little bit about the tickets.
Okay, Gary Shoemaker.
Yeah, basically they can go to online to the council website, or they can contact me directly at the Scottsbluff office. My email, of course, is gary.shoemaker@scouting.org, and that's the easiest way to get them there. Also, we've got them available through some of our contacts and everything out in the scouting community as well. Or they can just, like I said, go or call 308. I'm blanking on the number, brand new 632. 4179 is the Scout office number.
Okay. So, And for those that don't know, the Scouting office is located on the South Beltline, just west of the main intersection.
Right, we're just west of the southwest corner of the Broadway and the Beltline.
Yeah. And so you could stop in there to get the tickets.
Yes, yes.
All right, well, let's visit a little bit about the larger picture, Scouting, and this dinner, recognizing not only people who have the Scouting tie, I guess, but this in particular does this week or this year.
Of course, Scouting at this point in time in the community has been there for a number of years. We're 102 years old now. So, yeah. And we're sitting right now at 239 Cub Scouts in the geographic area of the district, and about 189 Boy Scouts, and we've got about 14 Ventures, which are our co-ed program.
Tell us a little bit about the council and how that works with the local pack or troop of Scouts.
The council is actually based in Greeley, Colorado. It's the main headquarters of the council. And of course, we have 9 districts across the council that serve the area from Boulder, Colorado, all the way up north to Wyoming, the Cheyenne, Wyoming area, and comes across to us over here in the Panhandle, and also covers the eastern corner of Colorado as well.
You had Scouts just this past weekend from all of those areas, and probably more, up at Fort Robinson.
Yes, we sure did. We had 1,064 Scouts up at Fort Robinson to replant trees there. We planted 10,000 trees in 2.5 hours.
And no blizzard to jump through or survive this year.
Yeah.
Probably had to take water for heat this year instead of the blizzard conditions.
Yes.
Yeah. Kevin, you and I and Gary were just at an Eagle Scout ceremony this past weekend. What a great event to mark such a great milestone for young boys. But let's visit a little bit about Scouting and that importance in the community of building people.
You know, Scouting is a great organization for young people. I was in Troop 3, the one we just had a court of honor for 2 Eagles Sunday for Troop 3. But I think back of my Scouting days as a young man, the things and the opportunities that I got to do but I would not have if I hadn't been in scouting. You know, scouting we always talk about is outing and camping, and you know the best friends. I tell people, young people, this all the time. My best friends, growing up, the guys that I camped with, that I got my eagle with, they are my best friends today. I don't always see them because we're spread out all over the country, but those are the best memories, and like I say, the opportunities and the things that I learned in scouting. It makes it worthwhile, and every boy needs to be involved in scouts because there's a lot to learn.
You're in the finance area of the Friends of Scouting. Tell us a little bit about what Friends of Scouting is.
Well, Friends of Scouting is an opportunity for people and parents of scouting. You know, if you look at what I think the dues are like $15 per boy, but scouting, it costs about $195 per boy to be in to have the program. And some people will say, well, why don't you just charge every boy $195? Well, that would exclude a lot of boys. And so what we do in the troop and in the community is we have this Friends of Scouting. Those people that maybe have had boys in scouting in the past or currently do, or someone like myself that was in scouts and had boys in scouts, even though they're out, it still gives me an opportunity to help contribute.
Alumni association,
alumni,
essentially.
because it takes a lot of money, and we are blessed in Scottsbluff to have our office here, because a small community like we are, that could go away. I hope it never does, but as budgets get tight, so it serves a big area. It's important, and so it does take the whole community to keep scouting here and to keep it active, so that it's available for the most boys.
So Friends of is sort of an alumni association of friends of the alumni. You don't even have to be an ex-scout.
And that's one thing about our community. It's always been that way. Even people that maybe don't have scouting in their background, they recognize the importance in there, that right there helping.
Who can tell me more about Dr. Gentry? Hank, do you want to talk a little bit about your awards recipient?
Well, I've known Dr. Don since high school. He was a high school classmate of mine, and I worked away from the community for a period of time, so I'm not intimately knowledgeable of his medical experience, but I do know he's a quality guy, and he was very active in high school. Is a great doctor, and has been very active in scouting. A very deserving recipient, and I'm pleased that he was willing to. Some people have been asked to accept the Distinguished Citizen, and Don was a little reluctant as well initially, but then they finally agreed to do it for the benefit of scouting, and that's kind of his character, I think. He's very deserving, and we're glad that he decided to help us out.
Very good. Gary?
Yeah, I can pop in here too. I spent the weekend at the tree plant with Dr. Don, so he and I were all over the place. We planted 50 trees ourselves together with a couple other people, Dr. Luke Legler too, and one of a young lady from, she's not so young, but she thinks she's young, from Colorado Springs. We the four of us planted 50 trees this weekend. But Dr. Don was out there watching the Cub Scouts, laying on the ground, taking photos, getting up, getting down. I admired him for his energy levels at being a retired age to be able to do that still.
That's fantastic. We'll come back, take a little break, and wrap things up in just a moment. All right, let's just come back with a who, what, when tickets and let you go.
Okay.
That's okay, Gary.
Because I suppose if we talk about who, what, when, and these different tables and that kind of stuff, so you want to do that, or you want to do it?
Gary, maybe you can do it.
Okay. All right.
All right, again, visiting with these folks about the upcoming recognition dinner, the Boy Scouts dinner on April 26th. And again, how do we get tickets, Gary?
Okay. Either stop by the Scottsbluff office in the afternoons, Monday through Friday. The office is open from 12:30 to 5:30. And the tickets, because it is a fundraiser, there are different levels of sponsorships here. They level at a $5,000 benefactor table, which is 16 seats plus the recognition and that sort of thing, and our bulletins and all. We have a $2,500 level for 8 seats. And it goes down to the $150 level for couple, and if an individual wants to come, it's $100. So
Okay.
that's the sponsorship levels.
All right, very good. And again, the dinner is coming up on the 26th. At what time?
At 6 o'clock p.m. is the reception time at the Gearing Civic Center, and then 6:30 is the dinner, starting for the dinner time.
And all are welcome, whether you've been in Scouts or had a kid in Scouts or just want to be involved or just recognize Dr. Dunn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. Well, thanks, gentlemen, for coming in, and continued best wishes, and lead on with Scouting.
Thank you.
And we'll be back in just a moment.